On the way to the kitchen, she noticed that the message machine on a side table beside the couch was blinking. Everyone who knew her called her on her cell. The only people who ever called on her home phone anymore were salespeople and fundraisers. That kind of annoying message was about the last thing in the world she wanted to hear right then. In the small kitchen, Kate flicked on the light switch. While AJ followed her in, looking about, Kate pulled a stainless steel canister out from under the cabinets against the wall. After she set the coffee pot's filter basket on the white laminate counter and put in a paper filter, she added 4 scoops of coffee. As she filled the pot with water at the kitchen sink, she watched out of the corner of her eye as the detective studied the family photos on the wall. "Looks like you get your lustrous black hair from your mother." Kate saw that she was looking at a 25-year-old photo of her parents, standing on the front porch, with Kate and John sitting on the steps at their feet. "And you have your father's green eyes. It's a rather striking combination." "We're all products of heredity," Kate said. "It's not like we get to choose." The woman looked back over her shoulder, momentarily giving Kate an odd, unreadable look. She turned back to the photos on the wall and pointed at one. "What's this one?" "It's when I earned my black belt." The detective made an appreciative expression. "Do you still practice?" "Healthy body, healthy mind," Kate said. "I find that working out helps relieve stress. Sweating from beating the hell out of a bag is a good way to get rid of frustration." "So you work out at a gym?" "Twice a week at a Combat Concepts with an instructor." When AJ raised an eyebrow, Kate explained, "My job is to find out who is causing problems. Sometimes it's simply incompetence, but most of the time it's criminal activity of one sort or another. We have security people, and I've never had any problems, but you never know. I feel better being prepared. The rest of the time I work out at home. I have some simple equipment in the basement, a spinner bike for high-intensity work, weights, jump rope, that kind of thing." AJ looked back at the photo. "I prefer working out at home, too. My husband is a gym rat, but I don't like strange men leering at me from behind when I'm doing deadlifts." Kate tilted her head toward the nook. "You've been on your feet a long time. Why don't you have a seat?" The expanse of windows created out of smaller squares of glass in a grid of painted wood mullions looked out over a deep backyard. It made the nook in the kitchen a cheerful, cozy place to have coffee in the morning. With the shrubs and trees all along the property line blocking out other homes, it was like gazing out on her own private sanctuary. Now, the black abyss out the windows offered no sanctuary, but instead echoed her mood. AJ set her small business satchel down and then slid it ahead of her into the booth on the far side of the table so she would be facing Kate. "You aren't crying," the detective observed. Kate took a deep breath as she pulled a pair of white cups from the upper cabinet. "I probably will. Later, when I'm alone. Maybe it just hasn't all quite sunk in yet. It doesn't seem real. I mean, if John had been hit by a car, I think it would seem real, but this—" "I understand," AJ said. "After the things I saw in John's house, maybe it doesn't make enough sense to me to seem real." Kate set the cups on the counter, staring into them for a moment. "Maybe I'm afraid that if I cry, it will become real." From a young age, she had learned to set her own emotions aside when it came to John. He was like a child who needed her help to survive. That was just the way it was. Her responsibilities weren't so bad, and they had their rewards. She had a good life. Maybe being somewhat detached and analytical had become her way of dealing with everything in her life, from John to her job. AJ nodded as she rested her forearms on the table and interlaced her fingers. "Do you have anyone? It's often easier to handle these kinds of losses if you aren't alone." "My parents are gone."